And we are live. Welcome to the Renegade podcast. I'm your host, Dashing Rogue, and I'm with my frequent sidekick, Artistic Layman.
You know the only enemy more dangerous than a man with unlimited resources is one with nothing to lose. And that is what you are looking at. Right here.
What is that from?
The last episode of the first season of Billions.
I have never seen Billions.
It's pretty intense. Like the way they end the first season is spectacular because all the lines are drawn, and you're like, how they gonna play this out for 5 more seasons?
Shit.
Although it is quite an emotional drain. It's kind of like it is a good show. I imagine it's gonna be on par like with what was that, like Dexter or Breaking Bad. But I don't know if I have the emotional input or the patience for a show like that long.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, I'm looking for another series to watch. I've been wanting to watch the OC. Like, I never got to see the OC when it's originally ran. But like, the more I think I heard this from Beckloff on one of his podcasts early. He talked about body image and how, like Screech from Saves Over the Bell was actually played by a freaking teenager. He was actually of the age of like 15 or 16, and everyone else was like 20.
Huh.
Right? Yeah. So I didn't realize that, and I thought to myself, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I always wanted my kids or whatever to have a better life than me, and I always thought the better life was, being a rich white kid from like Dawson's Creek or something like that. Like, to me, that would be like the ideal. Let my kids deal with politics, not have to worry about, oh my God, I'm not gonna have enough groceries. More like, oh my God, we have to clean up our parents' house from let's say a house party we had, and the prom's tomorrow, shit like that.
Yeah, although if the OC is an indication, these kids might be involved in things they should not be involved in.
Again, I've never seen it, so I was thinking about watching it, but then I also at the same time wanted to watch this other. I think it's actually kind of funny. It's very similar to Dexter, but I think it's kind of I want to say, based on what I've seen of it, it kind of seems better, like a more lawful evil, if that makes any sense, version of Dexter. It has Bill Hader in it. It's called Barry, I believe it's called. It's basically a guy who's a hitman. He's a ex-Marine or ex-Army guy from Afghanistan, or from the Afghan War, and he's a hitman essentially. And it's kind of like a dark humor, and he's trying to basically be an actor in Hollywood and shit like that. I have not seen that yet, but I'm thinking about purchasing the first season on YouTube. Not to say that I support YouTube or any of that crap, but you gotta get where you can get it, right? And I'd rather go purchase it on Netflix or what have you. But in any case, welcome everybody. That, for those of you who don't know what that tune or that song was, that was the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind soundtrack, the road most traveled. For those of you who need to know. Other than that, let's get started. So last week we talked about the CIA Tiggers, right?
Which one was that again? We talked about what was it? Mayday.
The CIA. How they basically were recruiting new humans, supposedly, as opposed to
oh yes, women. Yeah, mothers with anxiety disorders. That's a surefire way to get people in the CIA.
To be honest, I think a lot of this mental health crap is just to classify people to figure out who's who. It's like a logistics thing, honestly. But besides CI humans, you might actually get yourself a half-elf rogue in this one, also.
Fellow humans, come in and join our agency.
No, but like, I actually wanted to show this because I actually agree with the whole D&D sort of thing, because I actually wanted to do a follow-up on this. Play it, Luke.
Oh.
This is from the CIA, by the way.
Oh, is this the
I
same
wanted
one?
to be a librarian the first time I set foot in a library. I was always a little different, even at that age, and libraries offered a safe, quiet space where I could find tens of thousands of escapes into worlds of fantasy, mystery, and intrigue. After finishing college, I entered the workforce as a middle school librarian, where I was able to bring that dream full circle and match my students with the perfect books. Now, I get to experience that same type of fulfillment in a very different way here at CIA. I love my job because I have no idea what type of research question is coming through the door next. It might be as simple as an HR officer needing to clarify a law, or as complex as an analyst needing to help identify something they saw in a video still. There's something incredibly rewarding about knowing you are having a very real impact of potentially global proportions.
So basically,
As an agency like...
He's basically a librarian, essentially. He's the guy who's going to go through archives and shit like that. And he would be the type of guy who would be an archivist, because that's what that is at the end of the day. It's not a librarian, it's an archivist. That way you sound like you're a medieval fantasy character. Go on.
Librarian, I work to ensure that our collection and services are matched up with what CIA needs. Not only am I involved in the acquisitions of journals, books, and countless electronic resources, I'm also encouraged to curate special collections that challenge expectation. Recently, I brought in our intelligence gaming collection to give officers unique opportunities to practice skills they need in their various roles. Instead of sitting for hours in front of a computer-based training, they can play a carefully selected game to train a specific set of skills while simultaneously building on the myriad soft skills essential to intelligence work. My favorite thing about CIA is that they encourage the out-of-the-box ideas that drive real progress. Growing up gay in a small southern town, I was lucky to have a wonderful and accepting...
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. As if we needed to know your sexual preference, right?
I mean, it's almost a I mean, we know the stereotype at this point. I mean, it's not that. It's almost like he's trying to put himself into a predictable cliche niche.
Yeah, he's the guy he's the elf, but he's the effeminate elf. He's not Legolas. He's fucking
no one is interesting now. It's weird.
Yeah, but here's something I actually want to. I've talked about this. I've shared this with people before. The CIA this is from Gizmodo from 2017, on the March 15th, 2017. CIA is training its officers with D&D style tabletop games. Now, why would you do this? Well, I'll tell you why. Instead of spending thousands of dollars on code and computer coders and game designers, why don't you just use a pen and paper? It's a hell of a lot easier. And I'll tell you this: if you have a good DM, you will have a very fun, realistic campaign, and you could have like a killer DM, like the Tomb of Fucking Horrors type of shit, or you could have at the end just wants you to have fun. But the point is that I'll say this as somebody who could vouch for this: if the CIA is training people with like tabletop games, we're gonna have a really, really good set of people, because they're gonna understand how to see the world. That they'll have like an overlay, if you will, to see the world and to understand how the world works. Can you hear my mic very well, by the way, Luke?
I can hear you just fine.
All right, cool. So I have that linked in the description. Again, it was at South by Southwest. The CIA just debuted a series of internal training board games, card games, and RPGs used to train officers in art of intelligence gathering and problem solving. These include Collection, a pandemic-like board game with analysts collaborating to solve international crises, and a collection deck, a card game where mazes and monsters are replaced by satellite photos and government red tape. So essentially, basically what they're doing is they're gamifying things. Now, this is useful for many things. One, if you look at something like, I think it was they trained a lot of these soldiers to through first-person shooters. I'm not going to get into the whole first-person shooters and video games are violent and they cause violence. They make violence easier because you get over the fact that you killed someone because you've done it so many fucking times that it has sort of a how should you say it, a familiarity to it. One other thing that I found, and this is something that you could all take away from this whole thing. By the way, welcome, Wolfman. So, can my dog get a job at the CIA, or is it only for humans? I really don't know. Although, I don't know, puppers might be interesting. Maybe you could ask him, can you have your animal companion? And just say you're like a druid and you have like an animal companion. I had a friend get away with that shit back in the day. Not in the CIA, at least, but he basically, claimed he was a druid and he had a fucking animal companion, wolf, whatever. Let's see what... Oh, Wolf is sending me some shit. Give me 1 second. I need...
So the way I see it, the question isn't, why should you work for the NSA? The question is, why shouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's good money. It's fucking great money, right? let's be frank, these guys get fucking pensions, and let's be honest, you could probably pick up a lot of chicks at the bar, okay? With the fucking CIA card, the clearance, like, hey baby, I got fucking a CIA card, I can fucking want me to take you to a missile silo or some shit? No, but in all honesty, these are the type of people, these skills that you can learn. Like, I've learned social cues and shit like that from the fucking D&D board games. You can learn a lot of detail from D&D style board games or Dungeons and Dragons style board games. One example of such thing, let's see if I can find it here, is, let's see, yeah, so let's look what else I got. Hold on one second. I have it right here. This is an example of applying gamification to a. I think I've showed this to you before as well on this channel. This is gamification of what you would do. This is the type of stuff that I would imagine exists in the training manuals of the CIA. So watch this.
Orcs of your.
Hey guys, I'm Pat Kilbane. Welcome to RPG Science, where we explore the physics and biomechanics behind tabletop role-playing games. And this episode is dedicated to hit points, and specifically how something.
I gotta say, that's an impressive haircut he's sporting there.
Yeah, he looks like he's good. He looks like Duke Nukem, sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
Like hit points are calculated in real life. In D&D, hit points are a quantification of, among other things, your relative state of health and vitality. The loss of hit points represents the degradation of that state by way of illness or poison, or most often physical injury. And it is physical injury specifically that we're going to be addressing today. Now, in the late 1960s, automobile safety experts came up with a scale for classifying injuries, and they called it the Abbreviated Injury Scale, or AIS. And the scale goes from 0, which represents no injury, to 6, which represents an unsurvivable injury. So in gross D&D terms, you could say that people in real life have 6 hit points. And if you take a 6 hit point injury, you're dead. You don't survive it. And if you take a 1, 2, 3, 4, anything in between there, then you're going to be injured, but you're probably eventually going to be okay. So the problem with the AIS scale is that it runs into trouble when you're talking about multiple injuries. Let's say, for instance, you broke the pinky digit of all of your hands and feet. Right, so you've got 4 minor injuries, that's each with an AIS of 1. That doesn't mean you now have an AIS of 4. Like 4 is a severe injury. That's going to put you in intensive care for days, and that's not going to be the case with 4 broken.
Mechanically speaking, you would be what we call bloodied. That means your character has been gone through the ringer, and now he's basically not in a good state. He's been battle. It's like coming out of a war zone. You may not exactly been shot. You may have been cut here and there, but you're not exactly well, okay? That's what that would be. Continue.
Broken pinky digits. You know what I'm saying? To deal with this, scientists and medical professionals came up with the ISS, which is the Injury Severity Score. The Injury Severity Score goes from 0 to 75, and to calculate, you sum the squares of the AIS scores of your 3 most severe injuries. So let's say I take 3 injuries. 1 is minor, 1 is serious, and 1 is critical. That's an ISS score totaling 35. In D&D terms, you've lost 35 of your 75 hit points to those 3 injuries. But what you have to remember is an AIS of 6 will still kill you. Like a single injury with an AIS of 6 is still fatal. So an ISS score from a single injury of 36 means you're dead. And what I find fascinating is Pathfinder has a rule that reflects.
Yeah, exactly. They have the exact same rule where, like, if you get shot with a 50 caliber, I don't care if you have body armor or what your armor class says, you're gonna get fucking knocked the wind out of you. You'll probably break a rib. So there's a certain point where oh my god, you've been hit so badly that you just turn into chunky salsa. That's the type of thing you do, Yeah, I need to shield my Discord obviously more. Again, it's there, but there ain't enough people to want to get in it. You guys can join me on Discord if you want, but at the same time, again, oftentimes there isn't enough people, and people just don't want to use it. In between, me and Beckloff, there ain't enough people.
700 miles an hour. So at close range like this, the force is going to take you off your feet for sure, but it's really no more painful than a punch in the chest.
Why are you getting punched in the chest?
You're gonna be fine, baby doll.
Damn. I'm surprised she given her age, she probably would have lost her hearing or something like that. They weren't wearing any fucking protection. Yeah, a 50 would collapse your chest, and even if the armor would stop it. Exactly. So this is what they're talking about. You get shot with a 50 cal if you're wearing a fucking, level 5 or 7 or where the fucking body armor it might be. You'd still fucking, you you wouldn't be walking away from that at all. You'd probably be dead just from the fucking shock. Snap your fucking neck or something. Continue, Luke.
Flex exactly that. If you take half or more of your hit points from a single blow, you got to roll a saving throw, or you're dead outright. So yeah, small injuries can be relatively inconsequential, and big injuries can become a big problem really fast, and that's just the way it is in real life. So very cool, huh? I've got much more to say about hit points over the next couple of episodes, but please comment and discuss below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to see more videos like this, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We love doing what we do, and we want to be able to do more.
Yeah. And besides that, go subscribe to them. I like their stuff. I don't know if they're making any more stuff, but if they do, I would like to see more of it. Let me see if I can find it here.
This was back in the day when this was like 1 year after extra creds was still relevant.
Oh, what is that?
This is the gamification of being a good citizen, which is the whole social cred system that was starting in China.
No. I mean, we don't need to gamify everything. Just like you don't need to pathologize everything, you don't need to fucking gamify everything.
But it's an excellent tool, and so we're just applying it properly.
Well, yeah, it absolutely is. Again, for those who want to join in, here you go. And generate link, here you go. For those who want to join in, here you go. Well, join my Discord. It's great. It's great stuff. We have lots of good friends, and I'm even going to invite Davis MJ Arini in here.
Oh, that should be fun.
No, I heard that he was threatening fucking, what the hell is his name? He was threatening Beckloff, apparently. Like, he was threatening to kill Beckloff, which I'll just say, he's probably coming up. That's what I heard. Apparently, people are saying that fucking Arini was going to kill Beckloff.
Let's see if the Ultimate Beta Male website has something to say about this.
What?
Oh, yeah, I mean the Ultimate Beta Male YouTube clip show. Oh, Sigma Male.
Oh, you mean Sigma Male? Yeah, I was gonna say because people are talking about Sigmas now a hell of a lot more. I don't know what it is. I've always said Sigmas are like Gammas from they're basically alphas from a different tribe. That's how I see it. So like oftentimes alphas don't like being second fiddle to these people.
Oh, is the channel not exist anymore?
What? Davis.
Oh, there it is. It's Ring Sigma Male. There it is. Let's see. Unfortunately, nothing specific. I don't see the specific one, but if that's true, that'd be interesting to hear.
What would be interesting to hear?
Like if he's actually threatening Beckloff.
If he is, I don't know. I mean, I hope he doesn't do anything because I have a feeling that he's the type of guy who would just show up and just do it. I really, again, and even then, is he going to come after me as well? Like, how many people, like, when you spurg out, you only get to, like, your 15 minutes of fame, and I'm not going anywhere near Beckloff, so it's not like it's going to get a double whammy on us. But in any case, but yeah, I mean, Davis, I hope you get better. I hope you come back. I hope you come back from this, because let's be frank, you had no business hanging out with heathens. You had no business hanging out with those people. You had no business, doing that type of crap. But in any case, we got other things we got to talk about. I just wanted to put that out there because let's be frank, they do glow, and there are people who are going to be playing this type. They're going to be playing life like it's D&D, just like in what was it? What if Life was a video game from fucking Futurama? Same concept, except that we're not going to have Donkey Kong invade the Space Invaders or something, or something. No, but we got hacked apparently.
Who did?
Remember that? The United States.
Oh yes, one of our oil pipelines got hacked, and we had to pay $5 million in ransom.
Well, in Bitcoin, right? But here's the thing that people don't seem to understand: if like you could track Bitcoin, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could track it. So why are these hackers demanding Bitcoin still? Because you could track where that Bitcoin went and who it went to, and all this. You could see where it's going, right? So I'm of the opinion that they paid him simply so they could hunt this guy down. Now, there are certain things that I want to talk about here. See if I can find it here. This is Sog's take on the whole thing, the whole Russia hacker thing. Sog is some ordinary gamers. I have not had him on this channel, but I do know the guy is again he's pretty good with his cybersecurity analysis. I wanted to talk about this because he had a very, very interesting thing to talk about. Play it, Luke.
And what's he say? What does he say?
Well, it's not what he says; it's what the hackers said. And I want this.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudo.
Yeah, play it. Just play it.
Shahar, and a quick question. Did Russia hack U.S. gas pipelines? Ladies and gentlemen, that's a question I don't really ask myself every day when I wake up. But I figure with everything, sort of under the eye of cybersecurity and computers being hacked day in and day out, it's a question I should be asking myself at least weekly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Colonial Pipeline is one of the United States' biggest gas pipeline systems out on the planet, all right, out in the world. Now, of course, here's a quick rough graph. It's a source from the actual company itself, where one of their main pipelines goes from New Jersey all the way down to good old Texas. Of course, as you can see, it's a pretty long pipeline, and because of a recent hack, they had to briefly shut it down, okay? About 100 gigabytes of data was ransomed and stolen from these individuals. Now, I've already sort of read somewhere that people are trying to stockpile gas. Currently, everything seems to be relatively fine. We're in the recovery phase. Currently, from what I can see, there are some short networks. We continue to work with the company and our government partners on the investigation. So clearly, it's being investigated, and if I wish I had a sample to show you, but I really don't, all right? And the reality of it is that it's a very, very specific malware that's out there. And it's run by an actual cyber cartel that's actually real. Okay, it's not a fake thing. This isn't like the 99% of deep web rule that I have where this is fake. No, it's a real group, and I'll show you some proper evidence. Now, this is a onion link that leads to dark side website. This is the name of the cyber cartel behind this, confirmed at least by the FBI. Okay, this is what they're saying. Now, they have apparently stated. Let's read the mission statement for this hacker group. Right, we are a new product on the market, but that does not.
Oh, this is interesting.
We have no experience and we came from nowhere. We've received millions of dollars profit by partnering with other well-known crypto lockers. We created DarkSide because we didn't find the perfect product for us. Now we have it. So they made their own, boys. Now, of course, they have some principles. They're not evil hackers, apparently. No, they have a moral compass. They will not carry attacks on medicine, so hospitals, nursing homes, companies that participate in production of vaccines. All right, funeral services, okay, morgues, crematoriums, funeral homes, education like schools and universities, non-profit organizations, and anything in the government sector. We only attack companies that can pay the requested amount. We do not want to kill your business. Before any attack, we carefully analyze your accountancy and determine how much you can pay based on your net income. So
let me explain this to you in a way. When I first heard that, my first thought was, these people are hackers. They're already breaking the law. They might as well just go all in, right?
There's like I mean, you know how we always joke about how people on the left and SJWs don't know how the real world works? I mean, you don't call yourself a hacker organization and say, oh, we have a code of ethics. No. It's like this is like a superhero villain mentality where you're a bad guy only against the heroes, but you spare the children. Like, that's not how that works. Like, it's like in the Incredibles. These guys are not like those guys. They're not going to exercise restraint because you're children.
No, let me just say this. What is interesting is they said we're not targeting medical, we're not going to be targeting religious, and we're not going to be targeting certain types of infrastructure. Why is this important? You know anything about Geneva Convention protocols, Luke?
Hmm?
Geneva Convention protocols.
What
constitutes a war crime?
Ah.
The rules of war or international. This is from the ICRC, which is the International.
So it's legal cover. Okay.
Yes. So the question then becomes, why the fuck would hackers try to use legal cover? If they are not state sponsored, that means that there may be a possibility that the reason they paid them is so they could find out who they were. If they like the argument that I'm hearing right now is that it's not actually Russia, as in Russia the government, but it's a bunch of state sponsored hackers.
Yeah, it's a bunch. Yeah, just someone who happens to be in Russia.
So basically, King Putin decided to hire a D&D party on the cybersecurity side to basically hack the United States. Just like how we, like the king in, let's say, a D&D style world would, hire the bunch of drunks from the bar, the bard, the fucking paladin, the cleric, whatever, and they all basically go and do little adventures and stuff that you always ask, why can't the king do it? Why can't he has an army? Why can't he do it? The reason why is because of diplomacy and diplomatic issues here. Now, again, this actually makes sense to me, at least, because if it is true, for instance, that this group was backed by the Russian government, they were paid by the Russian government, but they're going to basically be splinter celled, so to speak. So the Russian government will deny their existence or deny that they ever were involved. Which again, it's our word against their word, right? I mean, it's the same thing with the Blackwater and the Wagner group, right?
What are the name of the agency in Mission Impossible?
MI6, I believe.
I think so. If you capture or kill, it will disavow any knowledge of your existence.
Yeah, exactly. And this is one of those cases where it turns out they were caught. Now, how would you catch them? Well, just give them their money. Give them the money, and then you track them down. And then, of course, you hold Putin to his own standards because, let's be frank, they're going to demand that Putin sells these people out. But what I find interesting is the target. I do believe that this is Russia that attacked them. And the reason they attacked them is because what was their target? Oil. East Coast oil. We know about, the whole Nord Stream 2 pipeline and how Ted Cruz was basically going after the Nord Stream 2 pipeline because it was going to basically push Finlandization and basically make it so that Russia was like the main oil supplier of Europe.
Ah, yes.
I believe that this hack was a deliberate attack in retaliation to what Ted Cruz and the United States did when it came to the Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
Oh.
I believe that yeah. And it makes sense. Why would the hackers give a shit about, targeting, non-civilian crap if they were just scared because they knew they were going to get caught? It really honestly makes sense if you look at this from a cyber warfare.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. Wolfrun Pepper says, why couldn't they do a manual bypass? I don't know what you mean by manual bypass when it comes to well, first off, let me just say this. They found some spyware or I guess ransomware on like a machine, but it wasn't affecting the oil pipeline, but they just shut everything down just to make sure that everything was safe. They have recovered. I'm almost certain they have to have backups, but the point is they shut it down so they could upload the backup and wipe everything down, everything. And I mean the mainframe, the fucking laptop, the fucking thermostat. Yes, the thermostat, including the Alexa thermostat. All right, all the IoT devices, wipe it down, take it down, replace it. This is going to cost a lot of money, but it's worth it. Okay. I'm of the opinion that these fuckers, and again, we've seen Ted Cruz, call out the fucking oil connection, the oil pipeline. And then, of course, you have the freaking Wagner Group. If you know about the Wagner Group, right, Luke?
I forget. What are they?
Okay, so the Wagner Group is basically Blackwater, but for Russia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're basically, a mercenary group, quote unquote, like a PMC, like a private military contractor or company or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference here is that they're basically private in name only. They're basically the people who are going to go in and do the war crimes and then take the fall. But they also get paid lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money, right? So from Wikipedia, the Wagner Group, which I'm not going to pronounce this Russian shit, this Skrillex crap, aid Skrillex, by the way, also known as the PMC Wagner, also known as the VK Wagner, is a Russian paramilitary organization sometimes described as a private military company or a private military contracting agency whose contractors have reportedly taken part in various conflicts, including operations in Syrian civil war on the side of the Syrian government, as well as the 2014-2015 in the war in the Donbass and Ukraine, aiding separatist forces in the self-declared Donbass Luhansk People's Republic. So again, why are they using mercenaries? Plausible deniability. Oh, we didn't have any Russian soldiers on the ground, but we had mercenaries that were backed by somebody, right?
Mm.
And then you could basically you could throw like some political guy under the bus. This is how they do it. It's no longer about nation or ideology. It's an endless series of proxy battles fought by mercenaries machines, the quote fucking Solid Snake or Old Snake, if you care about that. That's basically what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, whether it be the propaganda from fucking Call of Duty ramping up, and yeah, Call of Duty is propaganda, just not very good propaganda. It's propaganda for young, impressionable kids, right? Because everyone plays Call of Duty for fucking nobody plays it for the campaign except like young, pre-adolescent boys, essentially. Like, oh man, I got to fight in Stalingrad. That wasn't what it's like. But any case, I believe that we're gonna be fucking with Russia a hell of a lot more, and China as well. But since we decided to talk about China, we're moving on from here. Again, links in the description to talk about what war crimes are and what constitutes a war crime. Matt Pat from the Games Theory had a very good, very good explanation for like who gets to decide the war crimes and whatnot. So that's in the description, by the way. Let's see what else we got here. Why couldn't they just do a minute? I saw that turning the vows with men like they used to. because it's a very, very long pipeline, and they'd have to, again, it's automated. I don't know, dude. I really don't know. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so meat puppets. Let's talk about the meat puppets.
Meat puppets?
Oh, yeah, meat puppets.
When do they eat meat puppets?
Well, let me ask you a question. What are sock puppets?
Is that what's this in reference to, though?
Just show it up. Look.
Let's see what we got here.
This is what we got. Biden Carter. What's going on in this picture? So apparently Biden was right next to Jimmy Carter and former lady Roseanne Carter. Roseanne.
That was an interesting view. Let's see, open image. I know the image you're talking about. Where open up?
Yeah, open up, open sesame, motherfucker.
Please, let's see. I love this image. Let's show it.
There it is.
Huh? Where are you? Ah, there they are. Oh, they're so small.
They're so tiny. I mean, look at Biden's like fucking Gandalf, and they're like fucking Frodo and fucking Bilbo. I mean,
I thought when I first saw this picture, I thought it was a meme, but no, they're actually that small.
Are they really that small, or is it just that they're very big? Or is it possible that they Photoshop these fuckers in? I'm of the opinion that this was Photoshopped. I don't even again. More and more, we're seeing people say, "Oh, Biden is this, Biden is that." I mean, I heard Tim Pool recently coined the term Biden derangement syndrome. Well, when you have shit like this, what?
I mean, is it like the same response when we thought that Biden was like not in a green screen room or what?
Yeah, I mean, there are like people are legitimately questioning, and they shouldn't have to do this. I mean, usually it's like some crazy fucker thinking that Obama is a fucking lizard man because of a fucking a malfunction in, let's say, the broadcasting picture, right? But this legitimately looks like they're fucking puppets. They like, again, they're crouching like they're, I don't know, it's like fucking like I said, Bilbo and fucking humans, like normal humans and fucking hobbits. They are way too small. Like, that is just, like, what is the explanation on the BBC? The Big Black Clock Radio, or whatever it's called, or the Big Black Clock Broadcasting, whatever it's called.
Let's see, it seemed that Joe Biden and his wife are towering over the ex-president and their homes, slightly taller than, but is indeed slightly taller than Carter. The image seems to result in distortion because of the wide-angle lens.
Yeah, no. I do not believe that to be the case. But I will say it's interesting that apparently these fuckers, again, you can't tell me that's a wide-angle lens. I'm sorry. They like, look at the background of the fucking photo portrait, right? If she were to stand up, that shit would be like, she would be. No. These people do not. I don't know if it's Biden fucking with people, like he's like secretly fucking with people, so he's constantly, just doing some weird ass shit every so often.
Yeah, Biden's definitely not doing it. His administration is doing it because he's not there.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I don't trust this shit. But apparently, Israel's at war again.
Oh boy! Here we go.
Yeah, again, I'm pro-Israeli, just to let you all know. I mean, compared to Palestinian, I'm pro-Israeli. But, again, everyone's favorite dick sucker. Let's see if I can find it here. Where is she? It's not her. Where is she? No, it's not her. Let's see if I can find it here. Syria Girl. You know Syria Girl, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I call her dick sucker, cock sucker, because she basically, she has the DSLs, You know what the DSLs are, right? Dick suckers. Like some of the pictures of her, she looks like a fucking, she's like a guppy or something like that. And it got to the point where it's just, if you're pro-Israeli, block me. I'm like, really? I'm sorry, but I've talked to people before, and people have said that this bitch is Australian intelligence of all fucking things. I don't know where they get the notion that she's Australian, or what have you. I've always said that if she doesn't, this chick right here. Look at those lips. Look at those lips, Luke.
Those are very impressive lips. They're like Laura Croft lips.
Yeah, I know. Even Faith Golden doesn't have those type of lips. Those are are they real or are they fake? And this is one of those instances where I'd have to actually ask the bitch. I'm like, hey, is that a real fucking lip? Look at that. She's like I hate to use this as a reference, but she's like those fucking black caricatures from fucking Coonskin with the lips.
Wow.
They're like, yeah. Or she looks like the chick, that fucking, what the fuck is the name? The dancer from Jabba's Palace, right? The one that they remade?
Mm.
The one with like, yeah. I mean, look at them. I mean, that's, yeah, fucking, how much chapstick do you use, bitch? Fuck. No, but like she's doing, a lot of these people are doing SJW tactics where they're basically saying, you can't criticize Palestine, you can't criticize Israel. You're like, it's like,
we can do both, dang it. Why not?
Yeah, I go after everybody. And I oftentimes say that, Israel is doing fucked up shit. They are. But I think they're doing it for the right reasons. They're trying to survive. Granted, part of surviving sometimes is, going up to the guy, not just being defensive, but offensive. Go up to him, beat the shit out of him, take his, rifle butt his fucking kid or wife and take $20 out of their pocket afterwards and leave the fucking place to sit with their fucking blood and soil and shit like that. Just, in their misery. But I don't trust this bitch. At this point in time, like, even Abigail Shapiro was talking about how she's pro-Israeli, and even Gal Gadot, the Wonder Woman, not Linda Carter, the Israeli Wonder Woman, right?
Uh-huh.
She was basically getting a lot of shit because she was pro-Israeli. And now even the Democrats are fighting each other because of this bullshit. I mean, was it Chuck Schumer? Not Chuck Schumer. It was like the certain Democrats, the business blue dog Democrats, are fighting each other left, right, and center simply because of the fucking this whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I mean, even Ilhan Omar in her fucking crystal ball of magical mystery came out and spoken out, called Israel an apartheid state, which, again, I don't see how that's an argument. Like, you and I know that, like, the reason apartheid existed in South Africa was because these tribes were trying to kill each other. It had nothing.
These are the same people who are saying they're calling America an occupied territory now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, this is occupied Mexico. Which I will say this, as somebody who lives in California and has a vast knowledge of California history, hammered in at him at fucking, at his formative years.
The thing is, I get why Israel's doing what it's doing, but it's not going to end well. This is not going to end well.
Again, everyone who keeps saying Israel wants to have greater Israel, it can't have it. It can't happen. The reason why it can't happen is simply because they don't have enough manpower to hold that territory. They could take it, but they can't hold it. They'd have to genocide every fucking Palestinian. And even then, that's assuming their neighbors don't come in and fucking help them. So, this notion that Greater Israel Project's a real thing is ridiculous. We're supposed to believe that they're going to literally breed an army. I mean, 17 years they're going to have and slowly expand their military out further and further and further, right? Combine that with the fact they have to have the munitions, the armor, the equipment to take all this crap. It's just never going to happen. Unless they're willing to give everybody, the kid, the 12-year-old, the pregnant woman, everybody has access to a fucking gun. And again, they're going to have to do guard duty and all this other crap. It's never going to happen. What's this, Luke?
Oh, this is funny. I always like this.
Say you want to preserve your people.
Yeah, I think we have a right to preserve our culture and our people.
Ah, that is racist. So you believe you are God's chosen people?
Here it is.
What a swashy. Everyone's favorite
Why now?
Because he's a Kraut, that's why. He's a man-child.
Well, basically, he says, you'll have more Jewish babies if you're so concerned.
Stop whining. Go and have more Jewish babies if you are so concerned.
Hold on, Hitler. Israel is being overrun with non-Jews because of your open border policy. It won't matter how many babies we have. We will still be a minority in our own country.
Which, again, again, my heart goes out to those Israelis, but at the same fucking time, I've talked to people and I have friends that are Jews. I said, one of the biggest problems is when we see kids, the Israelis see jihadis, and the Muslims see jihadis, because we know that anybody, even if I was like some sort of kid, like 7-year-old, and I, let's say reload AK magazines for jihadis, or I do the dishes for some jihadi or something like that, I am now considered a jihadi by Muslim law, because I helped assist in their jihad. They're the one, I stacked magazines, I readied their gear, I helped them in that regard. Now, because I'm a Muslim, even if I'm a peaceful one, I get the benefit, and I get the 47 versions. How many was it? 72 versions?
72.
Yeah, 72, which is a really weird number. What you get like the fuck every one or two of them every fucking day for like a month or so.
Yeah, I mean, as Dennis Miller said, maybe 2 or 3 versions, yeah, but after when you get to 10, you're gonna need a pro.
Not even. It's a bloody fucking mess. I'd imagine it to be a bloody mess. Assuming that all of them are female, by the way. I remember that. I mean, fucking.
Yeah, well, they're of course they're gonna be female. I mean, the woman's place in Islamic heaven. In Islamic heaven, the woman's place is that.
Islamic, I don't know. I mean, some of them probably are bi, by the way. Just saying. But yeah, I think we're gonna have, like I said, the Warring 20s, and maybe in the next year or so, maybe if this channel isn't fucking nuked, or the other channel. By the way, subscribe to the Renegade podcast original channel, which is the Dashing Rogue. See if I can find it here. Give you a link here. Yeah, the Dashing Rogue. I'll send you a link here in the description for those of you following along. There we go. There you go. This is my original channel. The one I'm on right now currently is the backup channel. For those of you who want to follow me, after our 3 strikes are nullified and gotten rid of, I will go back to this channel, and I have 300 subscribers. For those of you who are sticking around, thank you for sticking around. And for those who are sticking around and who've joined in, thank you, Forney. Thank you, Matt Forney, for joining in on the subscribing to my backup channel. This is very useful for me, and it's great for you. Anyhow, moving on now. Let's move on to something a bit bigger, because we're going through this shit really quickly. So we talked about meat puppets. Let's see what else we got here. Talked about the war crimes.
Would be more like meat shields, though.
The meat. We're talking about the Biden and Carter people.
Oh yes.
But yeah. But even then. But I will say, guess who came back to the internet?
Who did?
Well, you'll see. Everyone's favorite BPM Empire, or BPD Empire chick, the Empress of Chaos, the fucking Harley Quinn chick. Again, and by the way, for those of you who are wondering, I took down her fucking the clips of her from Instagram where she's saying, and I quote, "Every time I have a nervous breakdown, I look hotter."
Oh yeah, didn't we? Is this a new channel? Is this a new video? Oh yeah.
This is a new, yeah. For those of you who don't know, Ashton Borderline Birdie, she was Baked Alaska's woman for the longest time. Then she had like a mental breakdown, and we found out she had borderline personality disorder.
Did we cover this like another Sunday ago, or when was this?
Did we cover it?
Yeah,
no,
this is back in May 9th. Oh wait, what is this?
This is from.
Oh yeah, this is about a week ago.
This is a week ago, yeah. So this is very relatively new, okay? And she apparently is an anarchist now.
Oh yeah, 5 days ago, the police are not your and video wise, the police are not your friends. The two-party system is trash again, and then there was that the internet is the devil.
Yeah, and this is the one that we're talking about. The internet is the devil because it is.
I can't remember. Did we cover this on? I'm sure we covered this somewhere. Maybe I was on a different stream.
No, we didn't cover it on a different stream. What we covered was we covered all her Instagram shit, because I've been following her on Instagram because I have an Instagram, because why not? But she would say some of those insane, like, crazy woman shit. Oh, I look hotter when I'm fucking when I have a mental breakdown. I look hotter. You should cry more. Oh, Christianity and witchcraft are the same. And I purposely put those in private. I privated those videos because Lord knows if she sees that shit, she's gonna flag it. So I had to shut that shit down. I had to make sure that to preserve the channel from the crazy BPD bitch, again, we can do it on my channel, this one, but we're not going to do it on the other one. All right, so let's hear what this bitch has to say, just to see how crazy this cunt is.
Blah, 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 blah.
Jazz. Long story short, I don't have to make a 30-minute video on this. I needed a mental health break. I need to focus on myself emotionally, mentally, physically. As an exercise, people, let's keep this family friendly. Most importantly, spiritually. I was one casualty away from my head spinning 360 degrees, if you know what I'm saying.
Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
After what was 2 years of what is obviously a lack of intuition, knowledge, maturity, a surprisingly mental health crisis, I was not doing what I needed to be doing. The universe was basically telling me, hey kid, this ain't.
The universe was telling her, by the way. So that's what she said. But again, I guess she's like a new ager now. So I guess she's slowly going to become a communist again at this point in time. Because let's be frank, this bitch was born in Berkeley. She's a byproduct of Berkeley. And as somebody who's born in the Silicon Valley, that's saying something. Like, it takes one to know one, okay? But for those of you who don't know, this woman, again, she went on a 5150 psychiatric evaluation hold. I mean, she's a danger to oneself and others. She was put against her will because she's too crazy in a psychiatric hospital setting until they find out that she's medically stable. She's not going to harm herself or others. This woman has a history, right? So take everything she says with a grain of salt. And if she seems like too mystical and magical, that's because she's a borderline. Continue.
This ain't right. This you can't stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
So I decided, clearly I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I'm not exactly achieving anything. I'm not building myself in any way. Maybe it's best to take a break. What better year to take a break from chaos than 2020? Gosh, I would say 2020 is infamously known for just.
Like, I don't really like you and I use fucking we use background noises and widgets and soundboards. This bitch fucking like that's the thing I don't like about it. I think, to me, this is how she sees the world. Like, if you ever saw the world through Birdie's eyes, it would sound like, yay, stop it, get help. Like, all this fucking memes and shit everywhere. It's like fucking Pyrovision, but not as cool. Keep going.
Sucking. 2020 can suck sweet popsicle sticks. Nobody likes 2020. Whether it be the illness, the government losing their jobs, small business going under, this election.
What if fires before or after the earthquake?
They were after the earthquake, I remember.
But before the flood.
It's safe to say that 2020 has been absolutely nothing but energy draining and horrible. I'm still trying to fathom English right now because I don't know how to talk in front of a camera, so apologies. Yes. My New Year's resolution for 2020 was essentially to start anew. I guess that's everyone's New Year's resolution, is to start new for the new year. But you know what I'm saying, right? Just total soul cleansing for me. A vibe check, if you will. I had to be comfortable in 2020 to basically be a blank canvas. I had to settle with the idea. The only thing that I know is that
she's always a blank canvas. She doesn't have a soul. I hate to, and again, this is not me trying to bash, bash Birdie in particular, but borderlines can easily just, become blank slates immediately. They're like, I'm trying to think of the example of the character from D&D, the Planescape Torment, the guy, the zombie guy, right? The main character, the accursed one, I think his name is. I think it's the Forsaken one. Yeah, he fucking, every time he dies, he becomes a different person. This woman literally can go to sleep, wake up, and become a different person. Like, used to be she was traditionalist and all this stuff, and then she was into the Yang Gang crap, and then she became a Catholic. Now she's into her whole spiritual mumbo-jumbo shit. So, I guess now we gotta ask ourselves, what is she gonna be next week? You think she's gonna be, like, she's already said she's an anarchist. Do you think she's gonna go the whole Mark Passio route and basically become like a spiritual anarchist type of person? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Do you think this woman's gonna become something else, or do you think she's gonna stick around?
Is she even relevant?
She's not. I just like to keep an eye on her because, let's be frank, there are people who keep an eye on fucking Chris Chan, and there are people out there who keep an eye on fucking Owen Benjamin. Which I actually got something I gotta talk about Owen Benjamin in a bit. She's not relevant. I just want to keep an eye on her because it's interesting to me. It's a hobby. Let's just be frank. It's an interest. Hobbies cost money. This doesn't cost me a dime. Except my 2 cents, but go on. Let's continue.
I know nothing.
So, Craigs, the only true wisdom consists in knowing that you know nothing.
That's us, dude.
Funny enough, is really scary to a lot of people. It's basically admitting that you have the ability to be wrong. It's basically admitting that, hey, you know, the things that you feel so strongly about might not be the answer. And that scares a lot of people, especially in the political internet world, because on the internet, you basically put yourself in this bubble with nothing but the information you choose to surround yourself with. You only listen to the people who tell you you're right, and you essentially have nothing but the same talking points and opinions bouncing off the same people you surround yourself with. I mean, really looking into it, I think the internet was a huge component in what was my existential crisis, because you don't really have the expansion of the mind because you refuse to actually have real conversations anymore. You refuse to open your mind.
She's fucking doing it. Like, I guarantee you this bitch is gonna start doing LSD. Like, you know, we're already seeing like Jordan Peterson and all the other fuckers push LSD and start talking about the benefits of psychiatric benefits of fucking psychedelics and crap. I guarantee you this bitch is gonna become like the fucking Zen guru of the fucking, you know, I wouldn't even say the alt-right. She's not alt-right anymore. I guess you could say the alternative media space, if that makes any sense. Guarantee fucking to you. Anyhow, Luke, what's up? Do you have anything to say, or?
No, I'm not interested in this woman. I'm too distracted by crypto.
Oh, dude, yeah. Fuck bitches, get euros, or crypto, I guess you could say. No, but we'll move on from this one because I just wanted to keep an eye on it, mostly because, let's be frank, it will give us something. It'll give me some material eventually, but between her and Owen Benjamin, in fact, I actually want to like contact Owen Benjamin and ask him, what is your thoughts on this? This is. Have you heard about this, Luke? China landed on the moon. Now, I don't know much, but I actually want to go ask fucking Owen Benjamin if he believes that China landed on Mars, let alone the moon.
Oh, I see. How did they get to the moon?
Apparently, they fucking got to the moon or the Mars, I guess.
Uh-huh. Do we have pictures, or is it?
Well,
China's landed on Mars. They're trying to buy up land on America all around the world, so maybe they're trying to get real estate on Mars first.
Because there are a bunch of fucking. Again, this is supposedly the picture of it's an animation showing the announcement of the successfully landed Mars rover. Apparently, again, there's no footage of it yet. They have like a picture of, I think, them dropping the rover onto the Martian surface, but that doesn't mean it didn't land properly. We don't see any evidence, and I've often said, show me a picture, it didn't happen, right? And I'm of the opinion that the Chinese are lying. I don't think that they're telling the truth when it comes to the space race. I think these people have been lying. And like at this point, every action the Chinese are doing, of the Communist Party, I should say, because let's be frank, that there are good Chinese people and there are a lot of bad Chinese people out there. But the Communist Party of China, they are some of the most small dick, low energy people. They have to be constantly validated for everything they do. So like you know, wolf warrior type of politics or wolf warrior doctrine is really honestly just like the little kid trying to psych himself up to fight the bully, or psych himself up to think that he's something that he's not. I'm of the opinion that there will be people out there saying that China faked the Mars landing. I actually want to get that trending, like China faked the Mars landing. They're liars. Their shit crashed in fucking orbit or something like that. Because I don't fucking think these people went to the moon, let alone fucking Mars. You know, like why would they go to the moon except to say, "Oh, we're better than you. We're better than you, American. We're better than you. Oh, we went to we're just like you." You know, like seriously.
Sure you are.
Only because it otherwise wouldn't be taken seriously. By setting the precedent that China will retaliate against even the slightest perceived aggression, smaller, less powerful countries are deterred from acting out. The problem with this line of thinking is that strong, powerful nations generally don't go around needlessly destroying their own reputations. China's method of asserting itself, calling people thugs and hyenas, is just plain cartoonish. It belongs in Hollywood, and that's no coincidence. The term used to describe this behavior is wolf warrior diplomacy, a reference to a hyper-patriotic, Rambo-style Chinese military film franchise. The second theory is that its diplomats are, in essence, acting, though the movie only makes sense in Chinese.
Yeah, it only makes sense in Chinese because only the Chinese would watch it. And then again, we watched it, right? Apparently the fucking film has like an anti-Chinese bioweapon that was supposed to be sold by another Chinese guy. Apparently, which again, I guess he was just so you know, disenfranchised that the fucker wanted to kill his own people and himself with a weapon that only would target Chinese people. Which again, that sounds like a fucking, that sounds like a fucking, what was his name, William Pierce novel, where, they made the anti-Goyim bioweapon that kills all the fucking non-Jews or something. It really does. It does. It really comes off as that type of, how should you say it?
I mean, you expect this from like a neo-Nazi hate groups. Like there's a video game called Zog's Nightmare where you actually go like punching bad guys in the face, like perceived Jews and homosexuals in the face with your bare hands.
Perceived Jews and homosexuals. Wouldn't it be funny if like they actually had something like that? But it turns out.
I mean, the graphics are terrible, but that's the whole point.
Well, couldn't they like do that, but then have it like pull a spec off the line, and they actually are the real war criminals or something like that, as we always perceive them as? Oh, you thought you were killing the Jews, but you killed Palestinian children instead.
Oh, so it's it's like American military movies, except rather than it's always a old white guy.
Yeah, in this case, it actually is an old white guy who actually did it to himself. No, but again, I don't believe the Chinese got to the moon. I don't believe they got to the fucking. I do not believe they got on Mars. I believe that these people are so incompetent that they're the type of people who would fake their own moon landing. Okay, we don't need to fake it. Okay, but they fucking sure as shit would. They're the type of people who would. Okay, and they're gonna call me a hyena. Well, guess what? If I'm a hyena, I'm Ed from fucking Lion King. All right, what's this, Luke?
This is Zog's Nightmare.
What is this?
Part 2.
Is this 2?
Who are the bad guys in this? It's a first-person shooter, and I think it's a train simulator. I think the first level is a trainer. Like your.
Oh yeah.
It starts as David. Blah blah blah. Okay, where's the rest of it?
It's probably fucking off YouTube, because let's be frank, if
ethnic cleansing PC Silvermania. Is this what this is? Ethnic cleansing?
I guess it is, even though I don't know why they do it. I don't fucking know. All I know is that, it looks like they have Jew on the mind when they have all those fucking, oh wow. They couldn't hire, like, somebody, like, to do it themselves, like to hire, like, they couldn't just, outsource some other fucking, they couldn't do, like, a Half-Life mod? Really? Why couldn't you do a Half-Life mod? Why'd you have to like make everybody look like they're fucking orangutans or something? I mean, go up a bit. Go up a bit.
I can't go back to that scene right there. Yeah, these. See, what is this from?
What the hell is this?
It's a live response. I think he's playing. What is he playing?
He's playing shit. Don't throw it in the fucking trash. What it is.
So,
and of course,
it's a resistance. Let's see how's.
Oh, is that like the Prussian blue chicks? I think those were the Prussian blue chicks. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is like some fucking. Like something tells me.
Negro Crossing.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Although there was once again, the extra credits came into this propaganda games.
Oh god, Negro Crossing? Really? Really?
Hold on a second, find here, propaganda games, here we are. If I can find the listed ones, propaganda game, Harpoon, Harpoon. Or this, although this is not really a hate game, but it's like funny. It's like
and is often accused of Japanese crustacean research simulator. Choices from. That would be a propaganda game. James started researching this subject a while ago to prepare for a lecture he'd be giving. Here's what he had to say. When I first started thinking about this subject, I was looking at a game called Harpoon, Japanese Crustacean Research Simulator. It's a send-up of Japanese whale research, as whale research in Japan is often accused of just being a cover for the whaling industry to protect it from international regulations. In Harpoon, you ride around harpooning dozens of whales, turning them into whale burgers in the name of research. Playing it made me feel pretty much how you'd expect. Amused, but also a bit upset that this is something people actually get away with. I decided to do some research on the controversial issue itself, and after much reading and some thought, I decided, alright, I'm okay with this game. I've done my research, and I'm fine with these guys lampooning something that's actually happening.
Lampooning? Okay.
Here it is.
Okay, interesting. I then showed my friends some games similar to the Special Force series, a set of games made by Hezbollah in which you take on the role of the Arab fighter for Hezbollah fighting the Israeli Defense Force. It plays like any modern war FPS, but with the roles reversed. And this time, the guy was horrified. He said, this is why we have to be careful what games we let kids play. Well, I had learned all I needed to. Like any propaganda, games aren't effective when you think about them as such, but what about when you don't? I dug deeper and started to really wade into the mire of what a propaganda game can mean. I found games like Anti-Japan War Online, a, quote, patriotic MMO made by the Communist Youth League, set in the 1937 to 1945 conflict between Japan and China. It's an MMO where the mobs you grind are Japanese men. The developers have talked about how they made the Japanese models subtly uglier in order to express the superiority of the Chinese. But it really hit me when I tried the most loathsome, repulsive, disgusting game I'd ever played, Zog's Nightmare. Zog stands for the Zionist-occupied government, and is a game put out by neo-Nazi hate groups. It's one of the most pathetic, repugnant displays of mal-directed hate I'd ever seen. I wasn't even able to get all the way through. I try to never shy away from a product, no matter how noisome and hateful, if it'll lead to clarity and shared understanding in the end. But I stopped at the point where you're dropped into a prison to beat homosexuals and African Americans to death with your bare hands. Please.
Why would you be dropped into a prison if you didn't belong there? I'm just saying, you know, there is like a legitimate reason why you go to prison. And even then, you know, I'm more akin to believe that you would have the American History X shit happen to you. You know, like when you get fucked in the ass by your own people.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got off topic. What were we talking about?
We were talking about BPD chicks, and then we eventually started talking about propaganda. I don't know. But let's get to the main crux of this thing, of the whole reason we're here. Nick Fuentes.
Ah, yes.
Nick Fuentes and the notion of basically, you know, that he got kicked off the flights, right? He got kicked. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see if I can find the actual information here. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so this is Nick. This is the proof that he was put on a no-fly list, right? Go Twitter, Nick J Fuentes status. There. Go look.
All right. Nick Fuentes' video. Let's see what we got.
There we go. Play it.
Abuse grows worse by the day. Senator Chuck Schumer has demanded that Trump supporters who attended the January 6th Capitol rally all be added to the federal government's no-fly list.
The insurrectionists who breached the U.S. Capitol fall under the definition of threats to the homeland and should be immediately added to the TSA no-fly list.
Democratic Congressman Benny Thompson echoed that call, lumping in what he called violent protesters who have yet to get their day in court with anyone who entered the Capitol.
Last week, the chair of the House Homeland Security Committee called on the TSA and the FBI to put any violent perpetrators, including anyone who entered the Capitol.
Yeah, and the only thing that gets them with is trespassing. They got nothing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Where are they getting how are they connecting to people? How are they figuring out that this was so-and-so and so-and-so? How do they know? Keep in mind, I don't believe Nick Fuentes actually got kicked off of I don't think he's on a no-fly list. I don't believe he is. I really don't believe Nicholas J. Fuentes is on a no-fly list, simply because, again, we're going to get into it later on, but I believe that he has just had a very, very bad behavior, very confrontational behavior with Delta, among other, like Southwest and what have you. Like, he wouldn't wear a mask, which is immediately going to say, we're not going to let you on the fly list, period. I think there might be private fly lists, by the way. Continue. Just continue playing the rest of the clip, because he goes
The
on.
abuse grows worse, post Nick Fuentes.
Here it is.
Show host Nick Fuentes 2 weeks ago when he tried to board several flights from Chicago to Florida, where he was scheduled to speak at an anti-censorship rally that he co-organized.
Does that sound right, Luke? Does that sound
But
right?
I showed up to the
Yeah, play it. Luke, just play it.
airport today to fly down to Florida from Chicago, where I live, and I was told, basically, that I've been put on a no-fly list by the federal government. And I know some people are casting aspersions on this and saying, where's the proof and something like this. But I called the TSA and they say that this is actually confidential law enforcement information when you're put on the no-fly list. So they don't actually give you warning. They don't send you a letter. They don't give you notice.
So you don't actually have any evidence, right? You have no evidence that you were put on a no-fly list. We have no evidence to say that you are on a no-fly list. We cannot confirm or deny it, so we have to have faith that you are on the no-fly list. And this is something that, again, it's a big problem because what's going to happen when Bausch says he's on a no-fly list? Oh, well, he's a communist. Okay, but again, people can just say, I want sympathy shekels, give me money, I'm being oppressed. Please, there's no way to verify this. And this is the reason why I want disclosure. Even fucking Elijah Schaffer was calling this out saying, this is unconstitutional, this is wrong. And I'll tell you, there's a reason why I have to be skeptical of it, because there's a difference between, let's say Delta Airline kicking him off because he wouldn't wear a mask or he was just being obnoxious, right? There are people who've been kicked off of no-fly lists or put on, no-fly lists, private no-fly lists, granted. But it's not the federal no-fly list, So this is a very dangerous claim that is being made. There's a difference between, tech censorship happening in the private sector and then the Iron fucking Curtain, where you can't leave the country and they're going to start genociding people, right? There's a big difference between the two. So, please understand that I don't hate Fuentes. A lot of stuff I would agree with. It simply is just, I don't believe that we have enough evidence to at least assert he's on it. Now, if I can find the information, let's see if I can find it here. Give me one bloody second. Going through his timeline, because I believe he stated on his timeline that he actually had okay, here it is. This is the proof that I'm on a no-fly list, he says. But continue playing the whole clip, by the way, Luke.
You actually don't even find out that you're on the no-fly list until you're refused the ability to board a plane. And even then, they don't confirm or deny whether or not that's the case.
And there's no way I could get on this plane?
No, you cannot allow. They're not letting you fly with Southwest.
With Southwest,
I'm
but
not sure
maybe
about other airlines.
Delta, maybe?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know that was a TSA number. I'm not sure if you're blocked from just the no-fly list.
Did they give you a reason?
No.
It's a no-fly list, you said?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You're not sure.
All right.
They just told me that you're not
allowed to fly. So again, and I have evidence here. Let's see if I can find it here. See if I have it still. Second. Again, trying to see if I can find it here, because I know that he has, he's made scenes with on Delta, on Southwest. He's done this, and it could very well be that he just is a bad person who made too much of a fuss on a flight, and as a result of that, people believe that he is being targeted. And again, this is something that I really want to stress here. I don't believe he's on a no-fly list. I don't want to believe he's on a no-fly list. I'm willing to eat crow if we find out he was. But it just, how fast can Congress really work to fucking put someone on a no-fly list, right? How fast would this work? And even if let's say there is evidence that he's on the no-fly list, we can actually check Chuck Schumer and check all the, go on C-SPAN and, go through all the fucking crap that they're reading. Put in, whether it be, control find Nick Fuentes, control find, or, no-fly list, and see if it got passed or not. Continue, Luke.
allowed to fly.
How do you know for sure if you're on the no-fly list or one of the Fed's watched lists? How do you know why you were put there? How do you appeal? The ACLU is nowhere to be found now, but prominent conservatives have voiced their alarm.
But if it's true, this is a turning point in American history. These are people, again, who have not been charged with crimes. If they have been prevented from traveling within their own country by the administration because the administration doesn't like their political views, that is not democracy. It's dictatorship. We ought to find out who's...
It's like legitimately a Soviet-style Iron Curtain. You can't leave the United Socialist Republics of fucking a Soviet land, right? Of Russia, right? This is legit. Again, I want people to understand why I'm fucking skeptical of this, because she did said I'm not sure. We have no confirmation that he's actually on a no-fly list. We have no confirmation that he is off of the fly list. But we do know this: he started recording it, and I don't know why. Again, this is not Nick Fuentes' fault. I'm sure it was spirit of the moment or whatever. But why is every single fucking video upside down? Can we please? I'm not asking for fucking Steven Spielberg levels of cinematography or James Cameron cinematography. Why does every video have to be upside down and shaky cam constantly? Can we just get somebody to have a fucking selfie stick and just have it there? You know, I can't just hold your phone. And I'll keep playing it.
Add all the other idiocy promised by the Politburo. Take allocation of labor, for example. Question: if you can only work at a particular job ordained by the socialist state according to national need, what's to stop you from working wherever the hell you actually want? Answer: gated districts with checkpoints manned by military or sometimes secret police. Papers, please. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I want people to know this. I want people to understand that. Again, I'm skeptical of this. I don't believe he is on it. I do believe that he may be a bit over exaggerating here. I don't believe that. I really don't want to believe it. I really don't want to believe it. But I'm willing to admit, if it comes out that he is, I will be the first one to say I admit that I'm wrong. You know, but I don't think there's any reason for it. And I'm going to go deeper into it. But continue playing the whole clip.
Who's on the no-fly list? Which American citizens are on the no-fly list, and why? And we should find out immediately.
And what the no-fly list has gotten a lot of criticism for is that you can be put onto it and barred from flying for your entire life for no real reason, or at least the agency that controls the list, which is part of the FBI, does not need to prove anything to a court or to anybody in order to restrict you from flying. Even if you don't like Nick Fuentes, we all need to ask ourselves, are we okay with living in a society that can essentially deplatform and deperson you for simply not liking your political opinions? And keep in mind that Nick Fuentes has not been convicted of any crime.
Yeah. So
I have filed public records requests with the FBI and the TSA to get to the bottom of the no-fly witch hunt.
Same here. I've done the same fucking thing. You know, we're all gonna find out. But what will be interesting, and this will be very interesting. Let's suppose that we all get. Let's say that Michelle Mulkin finds out. Nick Fuentes finds out. We all, Elijah Schaffer, and everybody fucking finds out and gets the result. And guess what they do? Let's say, for the sake of argument, that they all give everybody different answers. Think about that. Think about how politically fucking damaging that would be. Think about if Michelle says he was, and let's say Lauren Chen says he wasn't. Who's right and who's wrong? You can't tell. Now, again, this is from Twitter. We could show this. I'll put this up also, Luke. And continue playing it, by the way. I think I'm being kicked off of my flight to PA because my mask isn't covering my nose. And then this is December 4th, 2020. Yep, I just got kicked off. Here's the best. I never refused to wear a mask, but my flight attendant had the plane to go back to the gate, had me removed because my attitude power trip. I got up and I looked him in the eyes and said, "Hey, fuck you." He replies, "Enjoy your time in Chicago." I said, "Yeah, eat shit." How much of this is actually him, and how much of this is actually, political discrimination? I legitimately want to know, because if this is true, and again, I looked through Nicholas's, Mr. Fuentes' tweets. He deletes them. And I don't blame him. I think it was Cassandra Fairbanks as well. She deletes her tweets as well. People do it not because they want to censor each other, but because they know that some fucking lefty will find out something and quote it out of context. They'll lose their channel, or God forbid they get censored for 24 hours. I got fucking censored for saying hang fucking Biden or hang Biden, kill Fauci, or stomp Fauci, burn Fauci or something. I don't know. I said something along those lines on Twitter, and I got put in timeout for 24 hours or 12 hours, I think it was. So again, I really want to believe that he's not on that fly list or not on that list. But at the same time, I have no reason not to believe it. Again, I'm willing to eat crow, but at the same fucking time, this is a dark time for our country. It really is. And let's say, for the sake of argument, he is found out to be wrong. Well, then what does he do? Well, he'll double down like all SJWs would. Oh, they're just lying. They altered it. They did, again, I'm of the opinion he just got kicked off because he's just has an attitude. And then, the companies have their own little blacklist they can enforce of troublemakers. I believe that's more than likely the case, that there's a company censoring him and not letting him fly. I'm of that opinion. Now, it could very well be that I need to give out $300 or so to give to Fuentes and say, let's go to Honolulu and see if you can get all the way from Honolulu over to, or from Chicago to Honolulu. And then if you can go there, hey, you get a free vacation on me. More power to you. But at the same, because again, it's his word against ours. I'm of the opinion that if you go to, let's say I book for Southwest, I get kicked off of Southwest because I'm an asshole or something happens. I don't immediately get to go, okay, I'm going to go on Alaska. I'm going to go on Japan Airlines. I'm going to go, like, that doesn't work that way. They don't just let you in and say, oh, there's a boarding here. We have room here. You have to plan ahead of time, right? You have to be able to plan ahead of time and come to the conclusion. And, you have to, like, one, purchase a ticket. Yet they have to go through a whole fucking rigmarole. You could probably do it on your phone, but I don't think it would happen in the same day. It's not like, oh, you got kicked off of Southwest. Let's go to let's go to Central Airlines, or let's go to this airlines. I don't think it works that way. I really don't think it is. So how much of this is hyperbole? How much of this is censorship? And how much of this is just people pulling my leg? I can't fucking tell. And that's a dangerous fucking state for anybody to be in. Regardless of whether you think the guy's good or bad, I agree with some of the stuff he says. I think immigration, as it stands right now, is bad. I think the H-1B visa is a bad thing. It's one of the reasons I'm fucking pro-America first. But seriously, like, what the fuck? At what point do we come to the conclusion that he actually is being oppressed versus him just saying he's oppressed and we have no choice but to believe him? Got any thoughts, Luke?
None. The drama just has no answers, and there's no clear answers what's going on.
And of course, me being a skeptical person, because let's be frank, it's dangerous, man. We're in a dangerous situation and time in our lives. This is a very scary part. Now, that being said, here's some of the media take on it. Here you go. This is from January 13th, 2021. Verified. Capital processors on a no-fly list. Here you go. Play it, Luke.
All right. So what do we got here?
Let's see.
Claims going around on the internet, posts saying Capitol attackers have been put on the no-fly list. Our Verified team took a look into it. Here's Jason Puckett.
You may have seen these viral videos. 2 people removed from flights with claims saying they were put on the no-fly list following their participation in the Capitol riots last week. So is this true? Were these people put on a federal no-fly?
No.
This always happens at this hour for some reason.
Maybe. Do you share an internet connection with your landlady or something?
No. It's always bizarrely intermittent on this particular time for no apparent reason.
Okay, we'll just continue when we get the chance to.
Participation in the Capitol riots last week. So is this true? Were these people put on a federal no-fly list? Well, to find out, we checked with United American and
Southwest. Here we go. Play it. Oh.
And then South.
It's always the something. I hate when this happens. Anyhow, sorry about the silence, ladies and gentlemen, but again, YouTube's having to fuck up again.
Which is weird. Why now of all times?
Yeah, because we're fucking going against the narrative, and we're trying to be reasonable in a time when everyone's...
Short answer here, no. These people in the videos weren't removed because they were placed on a no-fly list. They were removed for breaking the airline's policies. United Airlines confirmed to us that in the last week alone, they've banned 60 people from flights for refusing to wear masks. The no-fly list, on the other hand, is actually up to the TSA. And according to them, they enforce the no-fly list based on FBI requests and congressional authorizations. See, no-fly restrictions are actually enforced before you try to get on a plane, but these people are all in the airport. If you're on a federal no-fly list, airlines shouldn't even issue a boarding pass, and you won't make it through security. So these people got to their flights, something happened, and the airlines removed them from the flight, which means claims these people were banned from their flight because they were put on the federal no-fly list are false. There are calls from some members of Congress right now to add any known convicted Capitol riot participants to that federal no-fly list, but as of now, that hasn't happened. Would you verify? I'm Jason Puckett.
Yeah. So again, from the video we've seen, it looks like he's already in the luggage area, right? So he's near TSA or what have you. And from what it says, The proof, he says, proof that I'm on a no-fly list. Based on what I could see, it looks like he's right before he's getting onto the like he's putting down his luggage, so to speak. I don't know if that's the place where they would hold you until they find out if you were allowed on or not. He says also, this morning I'm not allowed to board the American flight or United flight at O'Hare Airport. This afternoon I'm not allowed to board a Southwest flight at Midway Airport record above. So it's not the airport or airline. I'm on the federal no-fly list. Well, let me ask you this. How much of this is like they won't let you on because you just showed up? How much of this is because you were a dick, let's say, on a previous flight, and they say, because you're a dick, we're not going to let you on anymore? Do you understand why there's a reason to doubt this, Luke? Do you understand why? Like, again, I'm not one of these fucking cucks. I'm not one of these people who just want to, cause discord. I'm legitimately wanting to know the truth, and I hope to God we find out if he is. I really want to know this, okay? Because this is the difference between saying we can't leave our own country, meaning we can't take everything and run for the fucking hills. Like we might, the wall that Trump built very well might hold us in as much as it keeps others out, okay? Like there's a difference between, the Silicon Valley cucks basically, laughing at you and not letting you speak online versus you are under the Iron Curtain and you can't leave or we will fucking shoot you. There's a difference between the two. But we do know from that video that that they have a right to refuse service. They have the ability to say, because you're a dick, we're going to kick you off. So I think I'm of the opinion at this point, I would say 45. I would probably say 45, 55. I'll let you decide if it's for or against, But yeah, like we're in a dark time in our country. We're, there will be people out there, and again, he even says, keep in mind, this is from the Fuentes' YouTube, Twitter. Keep in mind that with each flight, I wasn't allowed to check in. I never even got a boarding pass for any of these flights. Well, if you just showed up and they didn't have any spot, they wouldn't have given it to you. Keep that in mind. In each case, when I tried to check in at the kiosk, I was told to go to customer service, after which the clerk calls TSA for 30 minutes and says, I can't fly. Yeah, again, if you're just showing up, you don't have a ticket prior, you didn't buy a ticket like within a month or so, how much do you need? How much time do you think you need to join in on this stuff? How much time do you think you need to give ahead of time for them to like process your credit card or something along those lines, find out who you are? Because I wouldn't just imagine you just go down to fucking SFO or LAX and say, here's $300, I want to go to Cancun. They probably would do that immediately, right? They wouldn't just say, here you go, we'll let you on. How much of this should we actually look into? How much of this is, just him being a dick? And I'm not saying it is, I'm saying that we can't verify. It's really sad. This happened to fucking Tucker Carlson. I almost certainly would say, yeah, it probably is. He probably is on a no-fly list. But since it happened to Nicholas J. Fuentes, it very well might be that he's just an asshole, and he has a confrontational personality, and as a result of that, it could very well be that he's just he reaped what he sowed, because it like again, the timing doesn't seem right. If we find out, I'm going to continue to follow this story as it goes by. Like, if it turns out that Schumer's fucking no-fly list bullshit request is actually it failed in Congress or failed wherever it might be, then it narrows it down, and eventually we're going to find out that if Nick is actually lying, we will catch him, and I think he should be punished to the full extent of the law, like legitimately punished. And you say, well, you're a little bit too harsh. No, it's not. Like I said. There's a difference between being, censored by some Silicon Valley tech firm because you're deliberately saying gas the kayaks race war now and shit like that, versus, okay, because you're not part of the favored party or the favored race, we're putting you on the no-fly list and you're not allowed to leave your own country. There's a big difference between the two. So this is not like apples and oranges. This is like bullets versus, like, damned if you do, like, I don't even know what the hell it is. Iron Curtain versus Silicon Valley censorship. Which one? Luke, do you have any thoughts on this matter?
This particular matter? No. Oh, just one. If I can play it.
Gosh, Max. Celebrity is just a never-ending set of arbitrary goals one accomplishes to appease a dismissive and distracted, if not entirely absent, authority figure.
I don't know if I agree, Sam, but I've begun my decadent slide into a depraved personal hell just in case.
God, those motherfuckers were ahead of their time in so many things. Jeez, Louie, so many quotes, man. But in any case, let's see what else we got. So yeah, everyone's looking into it, and it's going to be very interesting when, you know, if it turns out that everybody and their dog, you know, Michelle Malkin, Elijah Schaffer, you know, roaming millennial, fucking Glenn Beck, if they all find out that he's lying, would anybody believe them? Think about that. Would anybody believe any of these people? They say, "Oh, you're a Zionist shill," or "You're just a SJW," or any of this crap. There's no way to know. And again, this is right. This is why we don't let this shit fly. Again, at this point, I'm anti no-fly list. And if there is a no-fly list, it needs to be published within the comments, so that way we know who you are. And if it turns out you try to change it and you try to, like, you know, get bypass it, like you change it yourself from Abu Jafar to Abu Safari or whatever the fuck his name might be, because you actually are a terrorist and you are on there for a right reason, and you don't go through the proper channels, you should be fucking immediately jailed. Okay, like that's how I would do it. Well, Luke, any final thoughts?
Let's see if this will play.
Maybe you guys can help me here. I'm confused. Bill Maher got the vaccine, then he got COVID. He just got it. Came out yesterday and said that. And so he's not doing a show.
It's like the first time in his career he's missed a show.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Okay, so apparently if you get the vaccine, you can still get COVID, obviously,
Yes.
Bill Maher. Is it that you're less likely to give it to someone if you have received the vaccine?
No.
That's not the case.
It's that your body can quickly fight off the infection without causing you to go through the disease.
So you're less likely to get symptoms. And asymptomatic spread is possible or is not possible?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I'm not a doctor.
And that's something we should probably...
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Always, you know, the fog of the Warring 20s is starting to roll in, and all I know is...
Yeah, the aristocrats or our leaders know these situations, and maybe we just can't bother to know about it. It just doesn't matter at this point.
All I know is, ladies and gentlemen, be good to one another. Take care of one another. Remember, saving the West is a side quest. I will do another follow-up as the information comes out, because this is something that we need to keep an eye on.